Hello and welcome to the next generation motorsports NASCAR GT round 1. We are here at Blue Moon Speedway as Ben Driscoll is taking an interesting way around the track. Now, it's the first race of the season for season 7 at Blue Moon Speedway, the Speedway. It's turning up, looking up to be a good race. So I'm going to go all the graphics. That should be it. Now I believe we're just waiting for a few more people to join, and then we will be underway for the green flag. Okay, we are back, and we have, we are having 11 drivers today here in the American Speedway. Now, a few things about this track and its history of NASCAR GT. Now, we have had a lot of different winners here across all the seasons. Now, I believe Aston Lewis is one of the most popular drivers to win here tonight, as I believe in season 3 and 4 he took the win here in incredible fashion, both races being a race straight down to the line on the last lap of the race. Now this track has 6 turns, 3 corners. We're saying them as turns. We're saying 6 turns as we're using the American way of 1 turn being the entrance of the corner and the second turn being the exit. As our room owner Jackson is making some slight adjustments, I believe we should be ready to go. I haven't been sent the grid by the owner, so we'll have to race through it once we get to that point. Scott Sandover of Aqua Regia just had that confirmed to me as their actual name. We should be all good to go once all the drivers have entered. We have 10. We're almost there. We are currently on board with Kieran Cavern of Nexus JMR. He is running A very nice livery, the 54. It's a nice blue, which, if it's as fast as it looks, we should be on for a great race from Kieran. Kieran here is sponsored by GridServe. I am not too sure on what they do. They are a sustainable energy service, while his teammates, Johnny Mills, he is running a stick fibrosis livery with a very, very nice purple to his car. So the 32, he's not been too good in the last few seasons. However, this one should be looking like a good one for him. Here's one of our newest team entries, as Jackson Turner has given us the no formation lap. Now, goes fired up. He was in the final 4 last season, first time ever. Unfortunately, he missed out on the win by approximately 4 seconds, which it was a very tight race all until the end, as we are now underway. Now, our grid for today is Aston Lewis, Niall Kerrin, Johnny Mills, Ben Driscoll, Jackson Turner, Dominic Kabinski, Goes Fired Up, Adam Richardson, Scott Sandover, Carlo Durante, Kieran Cavern, and Tracy McSorley, as we are about to go underway. 3, 4, 5 red lights, and away we go. Aston Lewis gets a great start, and I believe that is Jackson Turner on the outside, inside rather, who has a brilliant start, moving all the way up the grid, down the inside, and it's Aston Lewis that leads out of turn 1, as Dominic Kabinski has a slight slide out there. Johnny Mills has been pushed up into the wall, hopefully not losing out too much there. However, it is all okay from the start, as Carlo Durante, he has lost out majorly from the start, as everyone is fighting to get that clean air and get in front. Dominic Kabinski is making a move down the inside, pushing Niall Kerrin into the wall, losing out a bit of time, but they're 3 abreast going into turn 1 and across the line to end the first lap. Aston Lewis is currently leading, as Scott Sandover is having a major slide and he's into the wall. And who's that round? It is Tracy McSorley, the new driver for, I believe, FR Bono. Let me just recheck that. However, it is not a great start for him, as he is the first one of the caution counter, I believe. As we cross the line, Niall Kerrin is being overtaken by Dominic Kabinski down the inside, but Niall has a strong run around the outside, getting far ahead, 2 tenths in front. Very nicely done there by the Duck Man. All drivers looking to get that draft, as Aston Lewis has been pushed forward by his former teammate Goes Fired Up. Maybe we might see a bit of teamwork from these two. However, I believe they left each other in some bad blood, which is not always the way to go going into a new season. I believe that's Kieran Cavern who's weaving around trying to get the slipstream and get away from everyone else. That's Jackson Turner with a massive slide going down the inside of Aston Lewis, but he's just lost out due to this huge error. As we now see 2 lines, Kieran Cavern and Jackson Turner, inside and outside, Aston and Niall. Slight contact between the two. Both of them liking their animals. Aston his GT7 named Giraffe. Oh, that's very tight, very messy. A lot of contact, a lot of door-to-door action. Dominic Kubinski, I believe, has gained most out of that, getting a solid exit, pushing off of everyone else. Just find up being pushed down on the yellow line, giving up his places, while Kubinski is moving up the grid. Now, you may notice that out after turn 2, all drivers like to drop down low, and just it's the easiest line and easiest way to avoid slipstream straight out of the exit of the corner. And you also have a nice downhill to get more speed. Aston Lewis almost bumping Kubinski around the corner, as Kubinski in the FR Petronas Racing livery. He has led the 6th lap, and you can definitely tell there is 2 large groups. Ghost fired up in the new team, Aqua Regia. He takes the lead nicely away from Kubinski, hoping to stay there for a while, but knowing this tight battling, Kubinski going under the yellow line, forcing his way through. Ghost fired up has lost out majorly, as he now drops down to 6th position. Very, very unfortunate for Ghost fired up, while all drivers liking to stay high on the exit of turn 6. Now, as I was saying, you can clearly see that there is multiple groups. Now, it's either a pace, as Aston Lewis has had a massive wreck. Aston causing a lot of smoke, a lot of drama, and there is our first caution of the season. It will be Kieran Coburn who will lead us off, as we can now witness our first ever proper season restart. And Niall Kerrin has had a massive incident out there. Ghost Fired Up also involved. Both Aqua Regia cars lose out due to a large collision. I believe Jackson Turner, who is our lobby host, will be talking and getting us ready for our next restart. So, our grid, if nothing else changes, is currently Kieran Coburn, Dominic Kubinski, Ben Driscoll, Jackson Turner, Niall Kerrin, Johnny Mills, Adam Richardson, Scott Standover, Aston Lewis, who lost out after turn number 1, as Duracell, who lost out a lot on the start. Not sure what could be the issue there. It might be a wheel issue, but it's uncertain at this point. While Tracy McSorley was our first major incident of the day, losing out on key positions. While Jackson slows down to give back his place and get back into position. Now, a rookie for this season, Dominic Kubinski. I've raced against him before in separate leagues. He is a very quick driver on road courses. However, his rough driving style could be very key in this league. Jackson Turner has also reiterated the rule of overtaking under the yellow line, which is prohibited. So all the drivers must stay on the main surface, allowing to go in every lane, as we will now watch Kieran Coburn give us the first restart. And he is away. Kieran Coburn is away. And Duracell has lost out massively out there. I believe he may have gotten a little rough under the bumping. And Ben Driscoll going for a very tight move as he forces Kubinski up high. Jackson Turner looking to make the most out of all of this. He gets ahead and gets up into P2. Very nice stuff from the main Brit in this series. He was the co-commentator from last season and race director for half the season. He lost out. Oh, and as talking about him, he's going for a move to the lead, but Kubinski is on the inside as well. and that is very, very tight racing. A lot of door-to-door action between the front set of cars. All, I believe they were 5 in one line, all separated by approximately 0.3 of a second. All is tight, all is clear. Ben Driscoll helping out Kieran Cavern get ahead of Jackson Turner. So then, Jackson Turner looking to get back in front of these two drivers, going for the move around the outside, but Cavern blocks it, while Driscoll is looking for the move down the inside on Cavern. Kieran and Driscoll both make contact with the drivers side by side of them, as Kieran is looking for a long run all the way down the inside. It's not paying off as he doesn't have the draft. Now then, looking further back field, Scott Sandover moving up places after his slight error on the start, getting everyone all together. The number 58 NOS Energy Aqua Regia car. He's looking to move up the field. He's been in the series, he has been in the series one of the longest. So he is hoping to get in victory lane this time around. Moving further in front, it is looking like we have a set group forming, as we see Ghost fired up, touching the wall, allowing the extra group of other cars into the battle. It appears that we have approximately 8 cars all within a second of the leader, which is incredible for how tight these guys like to race. As Jackson Turner is looking for a huge send on Driscoll, just about making it work, hoping to have Scott Sandover help him through and get past Kieran Cavern for the lead of this race. And that is a huge wreck. Huge wreck. Jackson Turner is all around. That is huge, and he will not be happy with that at all. We are not under caution just yet, as I believe he is only the second car to have gone around in this period of time. Driscoll losing out massively, losing 2 places in one corner, and that's gone down to losing 4 places, 5 places after being hit into the wall by, I'm not sure, I believe it was Kabinski who knocked him into the wall. However, it is all looking good, all very tight. Scott Sandover getting very, very loose. He's caused a wreck. I believe he is around. Driscoll is around. Is that Mills around? Adam Richardson is around. John O. Mills around. Tracy McSorley, he's gained a lot from this. Very well done, avoiding all the action, Lightning McQueen style, as we hope to see the second caution, unless we are in the few laps at the end of the stage where there cannot be a caution. I believe we are in the window of no cautions. So it is these 3 drivers that can win this race, will win this stage, sorry, as the top 5 in stage 1 and 2, top 5 get points, going from the winner getting 5 points down to 5th place getting 1, and all of the rest of the drivers losing out on the points for the first 2 stages. Now, stage points can be very important in the NASCAR series, as we've seen in the past. Every point matters up until the playoffs, where it will all get very tight and very nerve-wracking if you are on the cutting edge. Dominic Kabinski getting very close to Aston Lewis, and Niall Kerrin looking... Oh, Jackson Turner has called caution. I believe that may be the stage caution. But I'm not too sure, as I haven't been told any stage laps. So, very nice. And as the FR Bono Racing team owner has joined the lobby, I believe. I don't know why, he may just be wanting to check on his drivers, but he could just come here. Speaking of FR Bono Racing, Dominic Kubinski has been performing absolutely remarkably on his first race of this season. As we are underway for the restart, Dominic Kubinski looking to get very close up to Lewis, sorry, as Trace McSorley takes a very high line. I'm not sure that's the best line to get a solid exit, but he has a run on Driscoll, but Driscoll is in the draft, not gaining as much time as needed. However, Kubinski has taken the lead of the race just for a slight moment, as Aston Lewis is going to look to going down the inside of Kubinski. There's a slight bit of door banging, but there is a slight incident, as I believe that was Kieran Cavern being pushed into the wall. Kieran just helping Aston in front, helping him get up top, as there is a lot of lag from Carlo Durante. So if you see any smoke, it is going to be Durante either spinning or his internet sorting him out with some drama. Now we have a large pack out in front, all of them looking to take all of them looking to take the first win of the season here in America. Kubinski having a little look. Will he go down the inside? Of course he will. He pushes Kieran Cavern up high, but he also pushes a little too far as he drops out of the main places up top in the podium. Now, a few facts about this track is approximately 92% of the track is full throttle, so all the drivers getting as much speed as they can through the corners and down the main straights. The top speed we have reached is 185 miles per hour, as Kieran Cavern looks to make a lovely move around the outside, but just defending Kubinski and Niall Kerrin. Now, at this speedway, there is only approximately 8 to 10 gear changes going up and down to make the most out of each and every corner. That will include going down the main straight to improve on their exit from the last corner. And that's braking into turn number 1 and moving up through the gears as they make it back all the way around. Scott Sandoval looking for a cheeky move down the inside, but chooses to avoid it, and looks to help and give a bump, but is forcing Ben Driscoll away. Not some very clean blocking from Sandoval, but it is all racing. We are in stage 2 of this race. If you are just tuning in, it is Aston Lewis who took the stage 1 victory as Kieran Cavan was in second and Karen in P3. Kieran Cavan with a lovely run through the gap of Aston Lewis and Dominic Kvinsky. Now, Aston Lewis has retaken the lead from Kieran Cavan, but he wants to look to avoid another loss in position. The favourite for this season, Aston Lewis, he wants to get as much out of the opening races as possible. He wants to get the same start as he did last season, winning, I think, 4 races out of 4 in the beginning. As that is Aston Lewis, he's caused a huge wreck. I believe he had some taps behind from Karen and someone else. I believe it was... I don't know who that was, but there is a caution for that incident. All drivers must drop to between 75 to 85 miles per hour, which is in around second gear for these Chevrolets. I believe it was Kvinsky who caused that large wreck for Aston Lewis, as Aston just wanted to give him an unfriendly tap. We are not green this time, so we are going to have an extra lap on this caution. We've just got confirmation that we will be going green at the end of this lap. So, an interesting first stage and a half. Let me know who you think is going to win down in the comments, and I'll be reading some out while the race is up ahead. Now, our grid for the second main caution due to collision is going to be Kieran Cavan, who leads again, while it is Driscoll, Kvinsky, Jono Mills, Scott Sandover as your top 5, the main ones to watch. And we are racing. Kieran Cavan leads us away, pulling about 2 tenths away from Driscoll, hoping that Driscoll will just bump him down. However, Driscoll wants the inside, he wants the lead, but just pulls out. Smart racing from Driscoll, as I believe we are all clean through turn number 1 and 2. Up in front, it is a battle between 3. It is Kvinsky, Driscoll and Cavan, while Johnny Mills, Scott Sandover and Jackson Turner all work together to try and catch up to this main group, which is about 3 tenths of a second. It may not seem like a lot, but in NASCAR, a large gap can be anything. We've seen titles decided by a mere 9 thousandths of a second here, so anything can be possible, as there is some slight loose action at the rear from Kvinsky, as Jono Mills is slightly losing out due to the draft of... Oh, and we hear some tyre screeches, but everything is all okay. Jackson Turner in his 55 diecasts livery this week, sorry, hoping to show off his new business and all go well. As Duracell has left the lobby, I'm unsure if it is a rage quit or internet. However, from what it's been looking like the entire race, I believe it is internet related. While Dominic Kaminsky and Kieran Cavern are too wide, split by a couple hundredths of a second, and I believe that is no, that is, who is that round? Niall Kerrin just went around. I swear I saw someone go around. I might be going mad. John O'Mills has taken the lead so far. He wants to help his teammate Kieran Cavern, the two Nexus JMR cars, wanting to pull away as best they can. Johnny with a decent track record here at Blue Moon, as he has a lot of top 5 finishes, and he's just missed out on a couple of wins. However, in Season 1 he did get his victory in the playoffs, sending him to Monza in the Final 4. However, Driscoll has taken the lead ahead of the two Nexus JMR cars, as Aston Lewis is round as well. That is not a good way for him to go around. Driscoll pulling blocks on Cavern. He can't move anymore as Cavern looks for the high line. It isn't always the best line, however drivers do like it if they want a nice run. Typically the leaders tend to run for a high down to low line throughout the corner, as it just improves pace and corner exit speed. Driscoll doing a good job to hang on for this current stage, and they are all battling, all of them. I believe almost three wide in the battle for 6th place. I think that is. Driscoll losing out on the lead as Jono blocks. Oh, and we have been given a caution. That is incredible news for the Dalton Autosport car of Aston Lewis and the Binkling Racing car of Niall Kerrin. Hoping to see no shenanigans like last time. Dominic Kaminsky just needs to tuck in, and Aston Lewis just taking his time to get around the track, as we will not go green this time, and Aston has binned it under the brakes, which is not the way to go. Well done, Aston. We'll get confirmation of green this time. Jackson Turner giving us the go-ahead for this time to go all around again, as we will go back racing. All drivers need to tuck into their single file lines, which is the new format for restarts after previous seasons having unclean restarts, which is extremely unfortunate for the league, as it takes away a nice element of the racing. However, we do see cautions cause cautions, and it is Kieran Cavern getting us underway once again for Season 1, as we might get a nice onboard of him. Oh, no, cameras just don't want to do it. Nice work, GT7. Ruben Hamza has left the room, and it is the two Nexus JMR cars that lead us away for the restart. Ben Driscoll, the only car on the inside, as he looks to have an incredible run. Brilliant move from Ben Driscoll, moving from, I believe, 6th into 2nd in one send down the inside, and he might just be going for the lead. However, he just can't, as Kieran Cavern is getting bumped by his teammate, Johnny Mills. Poor exit there by Johnny Mills and Ben Driscoll. However, Ben is safe as he just landed in the draft of Jackson Turner. As he is loose and he is around. Ben Driscoll is around, and that's caused a massive wreck. I believe he has gotten Trace McSorley involved, and that is... Oh, careful, Ben rejoining. And that is obviously a caution. Wait, Scott Sanders in the lead? When did this guy get up here? Fair play. No judgments. The newly formed team of Scott Sandover and Adam Richardson, Aqua Regia. I believe it's a mix of water and a football team Scott likes. So it's an interesting mix to create a very nice name, Aqua Regia. The gold and blue, it'll be iconic in a few seasons' time. Now their main sponsor is NOS Energy. I'm not too sure of what type of energy drinks they make, but I'm sure it's better than Prime. And I'm sure you don't need to spend over 100 quid to get a can of it. Jackson Turner speeding away to tell us that, it is a caution. I'm pretty sure we already got that, Jackson. Thanks very much. I'd expect him to speed away and say green this time. Yep, there we go. Jackson just needs to get back in his place, and Scott Sandover will lead us away for the next restart. While the raging Kieran Cavern on pad will be straight onto him, as Jackson Turner and Scott Sandover, both drivers in a party, may be looking to help each other to get the first victory of the season. However, we all know all friendships go out the window for the final lap. Scott Sandover has chosen the high line for this, and we are away. Gets a solid restart, getting 3.5 tenths before moving away from the slipstream, as Jackson Turner helps Kieran Cavern catch. Scott just slides in front of Kieran Cavern, causing a block. Scott dips down, Kieran dips back into the draft. Jackson looking to just tag along, as I believe Kieran Cavern hasn't quite learnt the right bumping technique, as he lost out a fair bit of time on that last bump on Scott Sandover. As there is a slight gap, there is a gap of almost a second between Dominic Kubinski and Adam Richardson. Not sure what went on there on the restart of those guys further back, but if they want to catch up, I believe they shouldn't be racing. Johnny Mills going down the inside of Tracy McSorley, and Sorley, he can catch up. I'd like to apologise, as Jackson Turner pushing Kieran Cavern, I believe. low to get a better run on him, as Ghost Spider helps Jackson Turner overtake his teammate, while Scott Sandover is hoping that Adam Richardson will move further across to help him, and he does, but it's not enough. Kieran Cavern takes third place from Scott Sandover for now, and they all slide into turn one. Scott Sandover making an absolute send past Kieran Cavern and Niall Kerrin. They've stolen 5/10 as a gap, hoping they might build on it, as they just want to run away and battle on the final few laps. That is their best scenario that could happen for them, as they just want to escape the force of Kieran Cavern and Niall Kerrin, two guys that funnily sound exactly the same as each other. However, as Cavern and Kerrin catch on, so will the rest, like Kavinsky, Mills, Aston Lewis and Tracy McSorley. However, Jackson leads us away to start lap 41 of this 60-lap race around Blue Moon Speedway. Ghost Fired Up makes a decent move. However, there was some slight contact between Jackson Turner and Ghost Fired Up, as he just allows a door for Scott Sandover to open, as the two Aqua Regia cars lead the field, hoping that they will lead across the finish line together. However, Ghost Fired Up has a poor turn 5 and 6, which just doesn't help their chance to win, and there is a lot of contact, and there is a huge wreck out the back. Niall Kerrin is definitely involved, Ghost Fired Up definitely involved, and that is most likely going to be another caution, and that's Dominic Kavinsky around as well. That is not the ideal situation for most of these drivers. However, a caution has called, and Aston Lewis is up in the field. He is back, and he is ready to pounce on anyone who needs to. We are over a third of the race distance in, and it's all looking nice. It's all looking good. Kieran Cavern has been the clear driver who would want to take this victory. He is a master at this speedway, as he has helped me, Sam Mills, go into victory lane multiple times last season. We'll look on his bonnet as we look back. Scott Sandover will go down the inside for turn 1. Oh, we've seen Kieran Cavern just slightly scrape the wall, but he doesn't. Scott Sandover doesn't quite have the run. He's looking to tuck in, but Jackson Turner just blocks him out. There is not a gap there, sir. However, Scott Sandoval looking for a huge send into turn 5 and 6. I believe he's made it work out just fine as he maintains P3 due to Jackson Turner getting a very impressive exit off the corner. Scott Sandoval, he's still in there, but there is a lot of movement in the rear of this small pack as Tracy McSorley was pushed all the way up into a wall. Now, if you're still watching this stream, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any more of these races. Now, Thursdays, I believe, is the restart of Project IndyCar, one of the closest championships you will ever see, apart from NASCAR GT. These two series are incredible for racing, and both series are dramatic and the pinnacle of sim racing, amateur sim racing. The 55 diecast car of Jackson Turner is currently leading away as we approach the beginning of lap 47. Kieran Cavern, you've heard me say it a lot of time. You've heard me say his name so many times today. He's just been on a solid level of just constantly being at the front, constantly being up there for a fight. That Nexus JMR car is fast. All he needs is a bit of luck, and he can take his lovely blue grid serve scheme to victory lane. But Jackson Turner and Aston Lewis are looking to stop that happening, as Jackson Turner leads us away for yet another lap, while these three cars are looking to escape the wrath of the pack behind, who are just working together to catch these guys, and they all want their chance to go into victory lane. Now, one thing you may want to know is Aston Lewis is driving for Dalton Autosports, but his main team isn't. His side team is Nexus JMR. He's a part of the Nexus roof, so he will be wanting to help Kieran Cavern as much as possible. As we see a slow car back here, is Trace McSorley and Niall Kerrin. That may lead to a caution. We will see. As Jackson Turner, does he want to give it? I believe not. We don't see his warning lights on, so it's all okay. We are still green for now, but these guys, they've built up a huge gap. These guys have built up a gap 2.3 seconds, and it is growing. Jackson may need to call a caution, because I believe that is more than 3 cars around. Yep, we have Kavinsky, who was around in turn 1, Trace McSorley, who just got caught up in the Niall Kerrin incident. However, these guys, Jackson has just dropped to the back, and I do not know why. All drivers are still at full throttle, they're all going good. There is a 3-second gap between this top 3 and the pack behind of Johnny Mills, Scott Sandoval, Adam Richardson and Ben Driscoll. Now, Ben and Adam, they may not like each other, but they may have to work together for now, so that they can catch up to the top 3 pack. They all know each other very well. They're all good friends, but when it comes to racing, these guys are the greatest enemies. They are all incredibly competitive. Aston Lewis wants to continue his Next Gen Motorsports domination, as he unfortunately has lost out on 2 championships. NASCAR last season at the final race, he lost out due to a major incident on the final lap, Jackson Turner, he is a champion in both Project IndyCar and NASCAR GT. He knows his way around these tracks. And Kieran Cavern, the underdog in this scenario, he is desperate to take his win here at Blue Moon. However, Aston Lewis is leading us away. There's no one can catch these guys. It's just Aston, Kieran and Jackson. They're in a league of their own. These guys further back, this pack of four, they need to do something special, or they need to pray for a miracle for a chance to go into the lead of this race and perhaps take their win. As Jackson Turner has called the caution, I believe that who is that for? There is a person in the wall. That is Scott Sandoval. He's going very slowly. I believe he has a throttle issue, maybe a pedal issue. Something has happened to him. I'm not quite sure what, but he is going very slowly. And I believe he is on a new either pad or he's completely changed something in his setup, reconnected his wheel perhaps. Now we may be on for an incredible end to this race. We will have 6 laps of racing after this caution, as Jackson Turner is telling us to go green this time. As we are entering the final corner to have hopefully this final restart of the first race of the season. Aston Lewis, he likes a good restart. He's always been good at them, but with this new format I don't think he may get away so easy. We are underway, hopefully for the final time of this race. Aston Lewis and Kieran Cavern, they want to have that same 3 cars just running away with it, but I don't believe that will happen, as all of the cars are close together. All of the cars are wanting their win, but it's going to need something special to beat one of these top 3. All of these cars are experienced in NASCAR GT. All of them are very quick drivers, but it's a speedway, anything can happen. The drivers behind these 3 will have to do miracle work, helping each other to get one of them up in front. We have 6 laps of racing to go, including this lap. Kieran Cavern bumps Aston Lewis down into turn 1. Aston, like I've said before, taking the low line, getting a strong exit in 5th gear. And Scott Sandoval still having issues, I believe, with his throttle, as we've just got a line of 5 cars. They're all connected, they're all bumping. It's a marvellous sight to see once again. Aston Lewis holding a line down low, Jackson Turner holding a line up high. They're 3 wide going into the final, going into the new lap. I'm begging that we see something like that for the final parts of the race. On the final lap, Aston just kissing that outside wall as he slides back in to the draft of Ghost Fired Up. Johnny Mills also in the mix for this win, as Dominic Vinsky has left. I believe that is an internet issue. That is extremely unfortunate for him. That is he was on for a good finish as well, solid points. I believe we won't be seeing Bono Racing go onto victory lane today. Now Jackson Turner leads us with just under 4 laps of racing left as Ghost fired up. Has a massive spark on the wall. I really don't like this music. I need to figure out how to change it. Ghost fired up just slowly made his way up, while Kieran Cavern and John O'Mills, the two Nexus JMR cars, they're up for this. They want their win. Jono making an audacious move down the inside of Ghost fired up as Mel Carrick just gives him a lovely bump. Jono just blocking off Ghost fired up, and Jono pushing Jackson further out of his way. We hear lots of tyre screeches as Jono loses out hugely in there, going from 2nd down to 6th as the two Nexus JMR cars team up once again, hoping to move further forward. Now, I don't think we will see those two Nexus JMR cars once again in this fight for the lead, as I believe these will be the top 5 cars that can win this race. Jackson Turner, Niall Kerrin, Aston Lewis, Adam Richardson and Ben Driscoll. Oh, and that is Niall Kerrin all the way around. We have just lost a main contender. That is not a good thing for the drivers. And Aston Lewis and Jackson Turner have actually broken the slipstream. Very well done to these two. They've done an absolutely incredible job to do that at a speedway where it is just friendship and bumping until the final few laps. We may just be seeing one of these two drivers win. One of them is a NASCAR champion, the other has been in the playoffs before. They're side by side going on to the final lap. I believe it was Aston Lewis who takes the white flag and Aston goes down the inside of Jackson Turner. Jackson going down low, Aston forcing him even further. I believe that's Ben Driscoll around in the background, but we are not too bothered about that as Aston Lewis looks to block Jackson Turner, who was looking for a move down the inside of him. Going round into, about to head into the final corner. These two drivers are side by side. Aston takes it low, Jackson takes it high. Jackson with an incredible switchback on Aston Lewis. He's got the run on him. Jackson Turner is going to win this race. Incredible stuff here for the first race of the season. Jackson Turner wins on his return from commentary. Aston Lewis comes second in a very small 300th of a second gap. Kieran Cavern in P3. A good recovery from him there after a poor end to the race. After a poor end few laps of the race. But that was an incredible finish by these drivers. Jackson Turner is now locked in for the playoffs. It's good that he can do that, so now he can just focus on race wins and getting those playoff points. Very well done to Jackson Turner. I believe we may want to get him in here for a post-race interview. We will await Jackson Turner to join the party. I believe he is just talking to Scott Sandover and Adam Richardson of Aqua Regia. That was a very fun race. That was very tight all the way to the line. Now, I believe not everyone was expecting Jackson Turner to win, but it was very close until the end. And here he is. Here is our first driver into the playoffs, provisionally before penalties. Congratulations, Jackson Turner. How does it feel to be back?
I'll actually quickly check that. Yeah, I can indeed. My voice can be shared. Just checking that before I start answering. That feels very good. Yeah, I can't really believe that. I spent a lot of that race I spent like the first half of that race not really doing much at all, stuck in the back of the pack, minding my own business, just trying to learn how to be quick. And then the second half, I got with Ghost and Scott, who are both really good today. And sort of the three of us were able to sort of work quite well together, even though we're not teammates. I haven't got a teammate today, so I was happy to work with those two. And yeah, it felt amazing to get such a great start to the season with a new livery and hopefully a fresh start for the team after a mixed result last season.
Well, that was a very impressive return. I believe you are the only champion left on the grid, so you've just shown them how to do it. You've shown Aston that getting a good run it doesn't always need it. Just getting a nice little switchback. It was a very impressive move. Talk us through it.
Yeah, I on the penultimate lap, Aston dropped in behind me, and through the final corner he was in second, I was in first, and I sort of looked at that as like a test run of the final lap. Luckily he pulled out for the move, so I could actually see, okay, if you're second going out of the final corner, can you get to the lead before the start-finish line? And he managed to do it. So then going to turn one, I thought his plan was going to be behind me again, do what he did on that lap. Out of turn one, towards turn two, I first tried to go to the inside and try and get the lead that way. But he put a bit of a squeeze. I don't know whether I went below the yellow line. I wasn't sure if I'd been forced or whether I'd sort of gone of my own accord.
From the commentary box, it did look like you were forced down low, so I don't think you're in the wrong for that.
I didn't want to risk it, so I lifted off and just slotted in behind him. I tried it again and again, didn't go quite as planned. I thought, you know what, it is for the win. So I'll instead of risking it, I'll just take what I can get and get back in the slipstream, because it's a long lap. I'll stay behind, and then I got that run. And I was really worried he's going to block me going through turn two, which was fully within his right, but it's a really tricky corner with so many lanes there.
It really is.
Luckily, I got to the outside and then into turn three. It was just as simple as take as much speed as possible without getting too close to the wall that I touched it, because I know if I touched it, I immediately leave myself open for a penalty. So I carried the speed around the outside. Aston, fair play to him, absolutely sent it down the inside. A brilliant move. And the fact that he cleared me, at that moment I was like, oh no, I can't win this now. But yeah, I mean, luckily the momentum carried off that high side, and even without the slipstream, that was enough. And I hope that was an exciting finish, because it certainly felt like it in the car.
Well, if you watch back the replay, you can definitely tell it's an exciting finish. It was very tight up to the line. Do you know what happened to, I think it was Niall? He just dropped out of the top three.
Yeah, I believe what happened there is he pulled out. I can't remember how many laps to go it was. It wasn't long left.
It was about 2 laps to go.
Was on my left, and I think Aston went to bump draft him past me. I don't know whether Aston had a big run or whether Niall moved a little bit. But all of a sudden, I was sort of minding my own business on the outside and expecting those two just to drive past me and go into first and second. And then all of a sudden, I just felt a massive hit from Niall as he'd sort of got unstable. I don't know whether that was from a touch or whether he put on a block or something. And he sort of slammed into the side of my car, bounced off of me, and then I think spun down towards the inside. So I think I'm gonna have to watch that one back as well. I felt it more than saw it. So I'm guessing there was I'm guessing it was sort of like a bad bump draft or something. Which, I mean, it can easily happen, especially that late in the race.
GT7, the bumps can be incredible or terrible.
Very true, very true.
Well, congratulations on your victory. Thank you to those who were watching, and I believe we will see you on Thursday for Project IndyCar, is it?
Potentially. There's a race, then I don't know if there'll be a stream or not.
Alright. Well, thank you for watching, thank you for taking part, Jackson. Well done on your win. Congratulations on the playoffs.